Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongeth to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahavakar Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and his Son's name is Yahweh Shai. And double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that teach us truth well and that continue to teach us truth well. And to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. I'm going to switch it up. This lesson is going to be called the ancient Greeks. Okay, the wicked of our people that what made a covenant with the heathen. Okay, Israelites. So we're going to start off with 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and 1:11. Let's start at 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, which was an Edomite, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Which, when we read about the Greeks, yes, you had Greeks that were known as Grecians that were Edomites, but they were calling themselves Greeks. Okay, because prior to that, who were the actually ancient Greeks? They were called the Etruscans. The Etruscans, which the Etruscans were what? Japhites. Because that region belonged to who? Japheth. Okay, but you had Edom. What he would do, he would rule, take over these nations, and he would name himself after, take on the same customs as these nations. Because when you look at the toga, who wears the toga? Who did they get that custom from? Japheth. And even when you see today the royalty of the Hawaiians, what are they wearing? A toga. So this is what Esau would do. He would take on the customs of the nations he conquered. Verse 11, in those days they went there out of Israel wicked men. And these wicked men were Israelites. Okay. He persuaded many saying, let us go and make a covenant. And what's another word? Persuade. Convinced. Many saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. So this is what Israelites were doing in the time of the Greeks. They were joining themselves unto the Greeks and saying, let's make a covenant, an agreement with them. In other words, basically, sell it out, basically. Round about us, for since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. Since they departed from who? From the Greeks, from these other nations, they had much sorrow. So these were individuals that they despised the laws of Yahweh Shai. These were individuals that wanted to do their own thing. These were individuals that wanted to follow the customs of the other nations. So this device pleased them. What's another word for the device? Plan, mashamah in the Hebrew. So it pleased them well. When certain of the people were forward herein, that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. And who was that king? Antiochus. And he gave them what ordinance? What? A license to do after those things of the heathen, the customs of the heathen, and forsake the ways of what? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Whereupon they built a place of exercise, okay, which is known as the gym. So you get the word gym. Ancient Greeks used the term gym, which means naked. The word gymnasium means school for naked exercise. That's why when you went to school, what would you have? Edomites, getting naked after wash. I would go home and have my wash. But you know Esau. He's of that sick nature. Okay. Because you would have that, especially in the UK, Edomites, when you go to school, they'd be slapping each other's asses. Nah. I'll go straight home after that and get in a wash. But this is all goes back to Greek. And why do you think today you have look at these athletes. Look at MMA. Look at most of these athletes. Why are they wearing tight clothing? Why are they wearing less than nothing? The boxers, well, what are they boxing with? Hardly anything on. Okay, so it all goes back to Greek. There's nothing new underneath the sun. Bear me just a minute. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, which were what? The Greeks. And these were known as what? Bear me just a minute. Hellenists. Okay, according to the customs of the heathen. And when you go into that word, bear me just a minute. Hellene, Hellenistic, pertaining to Greece and its culture. So our people adopted, and they called it what? Helen of ancient Greece, Hellenistic. Okay, the one who uses Greek language, though not a Greek. Why? Because they were Israelites, but they took on the customs, the ways of what Greeks, just like Timothy's father. He was a Greek. Now he was an Israelite, but he was labeled as a Greek because he was taken on the customs of the Greek. Okay, you see what I'm saying? And that's why we speak of what Israelite foreigners. Okay, so we're done with that bit. Bear me just a minute. And made themselves uncircumcised, which our custom is what? To be circumcised. And forsook the holy covenant, the words, the scriptures, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. So they started doing what? Wickedness. Because as soon as you depart from the ways of Yahweh, what are you going to do? Mischief, wickedness. Okay. And it's the same thing back here again today. Okay. So we're going to quickly go into Jeremiah 2 and 33. Babakasha. Before we go into that, bear me just a minute. Yes, bear me just a minute. This is open straight up on it. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been, it is. Now, you know what? Let's start at 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new, it have already of old time, it have been already of old time, which was before us. Okay, so everything that's being done now has already been done in the past. So this is nothing new. Okay, and that's why the scriptures were written for our learning. Okay, and there's nothing new underneath the sun. Really, I wanted to go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, and that's why you have gymnasiums today. That's why you have what did they call it? The Olympics with the torch. Well, what do you think that goes back to? The ancient Greeks. Okay, nothing is new underneath the sun. Okay. And you still got the same thing today. Are people trying to drain themselves onto the Greeks? Tie, t-shirt, suit. Even though you can't be over righteous, because you have brothers. The scriptures talk about using the world, but are not abusing the world. So obviously, certain brothers, you got to wear a tie to work and suit. Okay, but we're not supposed to be in that fashion. Okay. Maybe just a minute. Go to Jeremiah 2 and 33. This Jeremiah 2 and 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? And when we look up that word trimmest, let's quickly get it. Why trimmest thy way to seek love? That's the problem with our people. It says Yatab.
Strong's H 3190. Yatab.
Saying tab, there's no V's. Yatab. To be good, to be pleasing, well, accepted. So that's another word for what? Trimmest. You want to be accepted. Okay. You got that slave syndrome. Okay. Stockholm syndrome. Okay. Accepted, glad. So our people, they will go out of the way to seek love from Esau, which they don't care about you. The other nations, they don't care about you. So why are you trying to seek love from them? Our people are constantly trying to seek love from the other nations. And that's why they always say, when they come across the camp, what about the other nations? Here it is, we're preaching salvation for the 12 tribes of Israel, but our people are always concerned with the other nations. And you still do see the same thing today. Lineups. These are all heathenistic customs. Lineups. Okay. Fades. dreadlocks. These are all customs of the other nations. Eating pork, these are all customs of the other nations. Eating squid, these are all customs from the other. Eating dog, these are all customs of the other nations. These are not our customs. This is why we were given a law, so we could be separate. But you had wicked individuals that departed. It was like a grievance to them to do these things. So why is, bear with me just a minute. So why seekers, let's read that again. John 2 and 33. Why trimmest thou way to seek love? Wherefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. So now people have become more, sadly to say, our people become more wicked than Esau. They've actually compassed the wickedness of Esau. Okay? Our people, obviously, they're created to be righteous, but our people, if you look at them, they've compassed what Esau does. It's so bad. Esau's looking at our people like, whoa. They know they're the devil, but whoa. You see? That's why we're supposed to be separate from these nations. Bear me just a minute. Let's go to Proverbs 11 and 21. And the Lord's He's going to cause that separation. You know? Here it is, it's 2021, and you do know you still got some Jake thinking, nah, Esau, he's a good man, a so-called white man, he's my buddy. You know? This is how twisted our people are. This man don't love you. Let's go to Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. Though you want to join hand in hand with Esau, okay, singing we are the world, oh, maybe we can make it in Esau society. No. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. We don't want no part of Esau's. We don't want nothing he has. Okay, we used to, but we don't. But we don't. We're not trying to share. We don't want to share this kingdom with him. We don't want a piece of the pie. We want our own kingdom, which is being promised to us. So though hand join hand in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So you want to join hand in hand with Esau, you can do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. But the seed of the righteous are going to be delivered, and that seed is a particular what? Elect within the nation of Israel, because what? There's also an order with the nation of Israel. You also have an elect within that nation of Israel. Okay. So with this lesson, I really hope this was edifying. I just thought I'd switch it up, and get into my studies and switch it up. And Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, shalom to the hopeful elect across the globe. Shalom.